New York City, a city full of life, but in the shadows, it's a different story. Behind every alley, beneath every street, inside every old building, there's something waiting, something watching, the kind of stories they don't put in the headlines. Some call them myths, some say they ain't real, but once you hear them, once you see them, it's already too late. Welcome to Urban Nightmares, where the city's darkest secrets come to life. The cab ride from hell. Kim was just trying to get home. She was tired, tipsy, and the rain was coming down hard. So when she spotted a yellow cab rolling up, she ain't hesitate. She slid in, gave her address. Driver, quiet, hat low, sunglasses on, at night. Weird. The cab rolled out, but after a few minutes, she peeped something strange. The meter wasn't running. Kim cleared her throat. Meter's off. Dude ain't answered. Just kept driving. Then he said something that made her stomach drop. You ever think about how easy it is to disappear? Kim's breath hitched. She grabbed the door handle. Locked. City lights blurred outside, but something was wrong. Buildings looked different, older, twisted, wrong. Let me out, she snapped. But the driver just chuckled, low, raspy. Then he turned. Kim screamed. His face melted, like shadows were shifting underneath his skin. Eyes black as night, stretching wider, wider. The cab swerved. Kim closed her eyes, braced for impact. Then, silence. She opened her eyes. She was home. Cab, gone. No tire marks, no sign of nothing. Just rain. Now, Kim don't take cabs. Don't even use ride shares. 'Cause somewhere out there, that thing is still driving, looking for its next passenger. The pawn shop deal. 8, so boom. My man Rico, he was down bad. Rent due, phone off, no food in the crib. So when he found his pop's old gold chain, he hit this crusty pawn shop on Myrtle. Behind the counter, this old man, skin dry like paper, eyes black as oil. He barely looked up, just mumbled, 100. Rico ain't even haggle. He just snatched the cash and dipped. But that night, when he woke up, the chain was back on his neck. He sat up fast, heart racing. How? He was sure he sold it. Rico ripped it off, chucked it across the room, only for it to slide back toward him, like it ain't even touched the floor. He ain't sleep the rest of that night. The next day, he stormed back to the pawn shop, chain balled up in his fist. When he pushed through the door, the shop was gone. Windows boarded up, sign torn down. Dust covered the glass like it ain't been touched in years. Rico stepped back, looked around. Was he bugging? A voice whispered behind him. You made the deal. He spun. Nobody there. Rico ain't wait around. He ran, swearing under his breath. But when he got back to his spot, the chain was back on his neck, tighter. That night, sleep ain't come easy. Every time he closed his eyes, he felt like something was watching him. Room felt colder, shadows stretched longer than they should. Then, his door creaked open. He ain't move, ain't breathe. A shape stood in the doorway. Tall, too tall, like its head scraped the ceiling. Rico's stomach dropped. He could see its fingers. Long, bent wrong. It whispered, the chain chooses. Rico squeezed his eyes shut, prayed. He don't even know what time it was when he finally passed out. But when he woke up, his room was wrecked. Furniture flipped, mirror cracked. Claw marks dug into the walls like something had been there. But worst of all, the chain was fused to his skin. He clawed at his neck, but the gold was inside him now. veins twisting black around it. He could hear something laughing, low, scratchy, right in his ear. Now, Rico don't talk about it, don't wear jewelry. And every night he wakes up choking, feeling cold gold pressing tighter around his neck. The man in the red hoodie. Yo, let me put y'all on real quick. If you're ever taking the late train home, keep your head down, mind your business. Cause some things riding with you ain't human. It was around 2:30 a.m. when my boy Dre hopped on the 6 train. He had a long day, mad tired, barely keeping his eyes open. Train was damn near empty. Just him, some old lady knocking out, and this one dude sitting way in the back corner. Red hoodie, hood up, face shadowed. Dre ain't think nothing of it at first. He sat down, leaned back, and let the train rock him. But after a few stops, he peeped something weird. The red hoodie dude, he never moved. Not once. Not when the train jerked. Not when people got on and off. Just sat there. Dre squinted. Maybe he was just another homeless dude riding the train all night. But then he noticed the dude wasn't breathing. Not a chest rise, not a twitch, nothing. Just sitting stiff like a mannequin. Now Dre, feeling uneasy. He glanced at the old lady across from him, but she was still knocked out. He tried to brush it off, but the longer he sat there, the more it felt like the hoodie dude was watching him, even though his face was still hidden. Dre pulled out his phone, acting like he was scrolling, but really, he switched to the front cam, trying to sneak a look, and that's when he froze, because on his phone screen, the seat where hoodie dude was sitting was empty. Dre's hands turned cold. He swallowed, eyes flicking up from the screen, back to the seat. Dude was still there, sitting, still, staring. Dre's breath caught in his throat. Nah, hell nah. The train lurched, lights flickering for half a second. And when they came back, hoodie dude was closer, one seat closer. Dre's stomach dropped. He ain't hear no footsteps, ain't feel no movement. But somehow, he was closer. Dre gripped his phone, heart pounding. The train rocked again, lights flickered. Closer, now Dre panicking. The air around him felt wrong, heavy, like the whole train car got swallowed by something bigger than just the tunnel. He glanced at the old lady, shook her shoulder. Yo, wake up. She ain't budge. He shook harder. Ayo, Ma, you good? Still nothing. Then, the train lights went out. Total darkness. The train slammed to a stop. Dre grabbed the pole, keep from falling. Heart pounding in his ears. The brakes screeched loud, echoing like they were stretching through someplace deeper than just underground. Then, a whisper, right up in his ear. You saw me. Dre spun around, but it was pitch black. The air was ice cold. His breath came out in short, sharp gasps. He couldn't see nothing. Not the old lady, not the seats, not even his own hands. Then, in the dark, he felt it. A slow, cold breath against his cheek, then another whisper. You shouldn't have looked. Dre bolted, straight for the doors, slamming his fists on them. Open up! Open the doors, man. The lights flickered back on, and just like that, the train was moving again. Dre spun around, chest heaving. The train car was empty. No old lady, no red hoodie dude, just him. The train rolled into the next station. The doors slid open. Dre ain't even think. He ran right off the train, onto the platform, panting like he just escaped something real bad. He turned, trying to make sense of what just happened. But when he looked back at the train, there was the red hoodie dude, standing inside, face still shadowed, And just before the door slid shut, he lifted his head. Dre finally saw his face, or rather, the empty black void where his face should have been. The train pulled off, gone, just like that. Dre ain't take the subway after that. To this day, he won't even look in train windows when they pass by. 'Cause sometimes, when he do, he still sees that red hoodie. And sometimes, it's looking
The midnight hour has passed, and my attendants have all retired. Lord, your lord, I will be addressed as the honor of my blood demands it.